Hello Little Big Podcasters, my name's Kenny and I'm the audio designer at Media Molecule. Austin and Daniel ever so nicely asked me if I would talk about the sound in Little Big Planet for 5 or 10 minutes. And that's quite a big topic to cover in 5 or 10 minutes, so instead I'm not going to talk about the sound in Little Big Planet, I'm going to talk about one sound in Little Big Planet. My favourite sound that I've created so far, which is the plasma death in the Metal Gear Solid pack, which sounds like this. Okay, so now let me just take you through the process of creating that sound, ignoring trucks reversing outside. It starts out with this recording of wolves. And then I select a little bit of that I like, which is this bit. And the reason I like to, or in this instance chose to work with an animal sound, is that sounds such as this have a lot of variation in it and they're quite complex. Kind of man-made synthetic sounds tend to be a lot purer, and that doesn't really lend itself to creating a kind of naturalistic sound, or at least it's very hard to do that. So starting with something organic and real, like an animal vocalization, is a really sort of good trick to get something that sounds organic and real as your end result. So we start with that. And then I simply do a pitch bend on it, so it starts higher and gets lower. And from there, I then put little gaps into it using another tool. And the reason it's got gaps in it, as I know, for me that implies some sort of transition. Kind of like, if you remember in the game when you get hit by the little plasma balls and the plasma death, you go green. And so that's you're getting kind of burnt up by energy. So that kind of represents that transition. And then I run that sound through. That sound is one component of the sound, and then I also just run that sound I created through a process we call convolution, which you can look up on the internet. But basically, you're kind of combining one sound with another and taking the properties of one sound and applying it to another sound, and it kind of just messes with it a bit. And so that's what I ended up with. So this sound turned into that sound. So it's lost a lot of its definition. And then, I don't know what that is. I suspect I've just time stretched this sound. And that's made it a little bit more granular. It's broken up into little chunks. And again, it's lost even more definition. That's what I was wanting to do. I didn't want those two sounds to sound the same. They're related, but they're not the same thing. And that kind of sounds like energy. So I guess it's plasma death. It's an energy ball. And then that sound is further processed by combining those two sounds together. So this one with this one. And they've also had some more effects applied to them just to make them sit well together. And then I take a second source sound, which is just a little bit of a glitch. I mean, that could be anything. It's like a little bit of, again, it sounds vaguely energetic. There's a lot of high frequencies in there. And that's just run through, again, convolution, which is a really easy way to just mess sounds up. Actually, no, I did the same trick. First thing I did was pitch bend that. So it goes from to, and then it's convolved, which adds a bit of echo to it. And then that is worked into the end result of the previous sound, and those are combined to form. And then we're nearly done, but not quite. Let's add a little bit of distortion at the end there. That's like a crescendo as you get turned into plasma or burnt to death or something. Distortion. And then finally, just to really heighten and accentuate that, those death throngs, is just pitch up at the end. And that's just one sound. what we try and do in game audio is really try and combat repetition. So there's actually various, different death sounds. So here's another one. Which sounds just slightly different to. It's the same but different, which is kind of the goal. So I hope that offers you some kind of insight into some of the work that I do here at Media Molecule. Bye.